This is Teamsport Bournemouth, a karting track that's known for, well, being like 90% hairpins. Well, today, me and my friend decided to go to a public session at my local karting track. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? So then, out of the pit lane I came, not knowing how many incidents this session would have. But we'll get to that later. So then, let's go through the circuit. So the first left-hander is into a right-hander hairpin, which then takes you into a nice left-hand hairpin here. And once you're through that set of double hairpins, it takes you to this nice straight here. And that corner leads into the pits. And then you take another right hairpin, which takes you up this nice up-ramp here into another hairpin. And by this point, you go into a nice left-hander, and then the lights go red for the light check, so let's just skip through that. And now we can finally get going. And the lights go green now, so we can finally start going really fast. So we cross the line, and I'm immediately after this guy right here. Now keep your eye on this guy, because what happens next is actually pretty crazy. He decides that he wants to give Lance Stroll a run for his money, and spins right into me. Now at this point, he literally just goes straight into the pits, so I just decide to keep going, but I'm going kind of slow, because I'm kind of just shaken by what happened. But I decide the pass is a pass, brush it off, and we keep going. So I decide to set my sights on this guy over there. And I know that he's about 42 billion kilometers away, but a guy can have dreams. So we head down the down ramp here, and I'm kind of confident here. So here I get to the double hairpins again, and at this point you're probably thinking, why does this track have so many hairpins? I'm thinking the same thing, don't worry. So just as I think I have a chance of surviving this, the guy in front of me decides that he's almost going to ram me head on. I mean, is every car in front of me doomed to spin? Anyway, at this point I actually have some clear track ahead of me, so we can try and get in a good lap. So round past the marshals I go, and round the hairpin I go. And unfortunately, when I get to the main straight again, these two guys decide to go for the overtake, and I'm too scared to defend because I don't want to crash. And that's mostly because I'm really shaken by what just happened. So at this point, my new objective is to just try and overtake these guys again. So let's try and do that then. And honestly, by this point, it wasn't looking that good, but let's just see how we get on. So at this point, I get to the down ramp, and the guy in front of me again decides that they're going to spin. This is the third spin in front of me in 3 laps. But unfortunately, this time, I wasn't able to get past. But now I was actually pretty confident, because I actually thought I had a chance of overtaking this guy. So off I went in pursuit of this guy. But unfortunately, he was starting to widen the gap, until suddenly, for some reason, he just went into the pits. And this was absolutely brilliant for me, because this meant that I could actually start getting in some good laps. So at this point, I came around the corner, and here I noticed that there are actually a lot of people here. And at this point, it hits me that this could be my chance to get some overtakes in. So round and round we go, and at this point, I'm just trying to find a way past. We go around this corner onto the main straight, and at this point, they actually start trying to pull away from me. And so I need to do something differently. Until suddenly, I get a tremendous stroke of luck. The guy in front of me here decides to overtake him, he defends against him, I get the nice dive bomb on the inside, and 2 overtakes in the back. And now I've got my sights set on this guy in front of me. And of course now I've got a big confidence boost from that overtake, but I've still got to worry about defending against him. So through here we go, down towards the left-hander down the down ramp, and it's at this point when I come down here that I notice there's actually more than one person ahead of me at this point. And I am fairly sure that the guy ahead of the person in front of me is going slowly. And now my suspicions are proved correct, because he overtakes him on the inside. So now my battle has shifted to this guy in front of me. I attempt to set up a switchback, I am completely too far away for it. But at this point I am actually starting to get a lot closer to this guy. But suddenly at this point he makes a big mistake, he spins on the inside, I get the overtake done there, and of course the yellow flags come out, so there's no overtaking at this point. So I am safe from the guy behind me for now. Although for some reason coming through here we're basically side by side, which did throw me off a little bit, because for a second I thought he was going to go for an overtake, but thankfully he did back off coming through there. So now the green flag finally comes back out and we can get back up to speed. And for a second there I thought he was going to attempt a dive bomb on the inside, but I don't think he was feeling brave enough, and I don't think there would have been enough space even if he had tried. So down this straight we go again, and all the way up through here and into this corner. I'm just kind of scared of him trying to overtake. So if you keep seeing me look right here, it's because I'm paranoid he's going to try and go for a dive bomb to the inside. And up through here we go, and I'm starting to get my confidence back. And also, in case you hadn't noticed, for some reason my boost button keeps coming on at random intervals without me even pressing the button. I don't know why that is, but it's starting to get on my nerves. Which is why coming up through the straight here, I lose my concentration, I go wide, he finds the move, and I'm down a position. So now my focus has shifted to try and overtake this guy. And at the moment, that's actually turning out to be easier said than done, because he's already starting to pull away from me. And that really really shows because by this point he's already really far away. And while he's starting to get further and further away here, the lights go red. And I don't actually know what this was for. I mean, I didn't actually see anything happen over here, so I'm assuming it happened down there. And then I noticed another person behind me that I now have to defend. At this point, after an eternity of waiting, the lights are finally not red anymore, and now they go green. So now down here I go, having to worry about a new person that I have to defend against. And again, now there's a bit of a pack starting to form down here. So I figure it's a good opportunity to get some good overtakes in. And anybody who goes karting knows that a group of people in karts never ends well. There's a little bit of contact ahead of me, then this guy has a little bit of a moment. I bumped into him. At this point, I don't really know whose fault that was, but I give him the space because I feel like I'm responsible. And so now I need to find a way around this guy. And now we go wheel to wheel, and he actually does this really dodgy maneuver that forces me to back out of the overtake. And it goes without saying, but this really pissed me off because that could have put me and him in the wall. And then I feel another impact, and it's this guy behind me here who I believe I might have forced into the barrier. So I do let him pass and apologize here. And then the guy who forced me to back out spins, so I guess that's karma, and then it's a red flag. And then 65 million years later, the lights are finally good again, and therefore I can actually start pushing. So I go down the main straight here, and there are currently 2 people ahead of me, and the yellow flag is still on for some reason. I don't know why that is, but now my mission is to somehow try and get past these 2. And as the lights finally go green, it's my perfect opportunity. So I begin chasing after them, which again somehow starts to become easier said than done because they're actually fairly fast here. So up the ramp I go again into another hairpin. Why are there so many hairpins? I think at this point I might be starting to go a little bit mad. I mean, there are so many hairpins on this damn circuit. So here I go down here into the double hairpins again, and there is a yellow flag here. I don't quite know what this is for. I'm assuming again it was probably on a different part of the circuit when it happened, but nevertheless we have to slow down here and wait for the yellow flags to be over. Actually, I think something must have happened over here because that marshal who kind of looks like Lando Norris was clearly walking away from something. By the way, interesting little side note, me and my friend Tyler were actually going to get a picture with him, but we completely forgot to. But he was a really cool guy. He kept the place running smoothly, and I just like to say that. Shout out to him. So anyway, up the ramp we go once more, and the yellow flags come out again. I don't really know what happened this time again, but you know. So down the ramp we go, a little bit too fast I think, because I'm pretty sure a marshal shouted at us to slow down. So my bad. But as we wait for the yellow flags to turn green, I just like to say, please subscribe to the channel. I put a lot of effort into these videos, and I just want to get more karting videos out to you guys, so maybe consider it. And I really want to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year, so that would really help me out if you could do that. Thank you. Anyways, through the hairpin I go, and the lights have still not gone green for some reason, and then it hits me. It's the end of the session. So then, let's pull into the pit lane, and I'll give you guys my final verdict of this circuit. My final opinion on this track, it's okay. In what's been a lineup of pretty cool tracks for Teamsport, I can understand how people might not like this circuit, especially since I'm fairly sure 95% of karters don't enjoy multiple hairpins on a single track, let alone 9 corners with 6 of them being hairpins. But I still like this circuit. It's a nice cool place, and I'll definitely come here again for future karting videos. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I appreciate every single one of you. If you made it up to here, you are an absolute legend. So drop your thoughts down in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.